Welcome back to the GLAC studio. I'm Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in GLAC 3 of the Santhana Lakshmi painting, one of the 8 Lakshmi avatars, eight Lakshmi's images that we are working on. And this particular series of class that you've selected is about Santhana Lakshmi. Santhana refers to progeny, yeah, the wealth of um, children. Yes, and this is the goddess of progeny that we are working on. I'm Goddess Sivasankaran, and this class is going to be about refining what we have done in the last 2 classes. What did we do? Let's summarize very quickly. We had started our first class to look deeply into the reference and plan on what we want to do. The interesting part of this exercise is that though the painting or this particular concept of Santhana Lakshmi is good old, well known, and in some parts of the world, and there are thousands of pictures already available in Google search, we have chosen to take a different dimension, which means we have chosen to give it a new angle by having images of little girls instead of women in this picture, and also making sure that these girls are coming from very different background or culture, so that we are showing diversity. So this kind of challenge and how do we handle that? We had started to discuss that in our planning section in the first class, and then we moved on to the second class where we started executing it. We have that drawn in this 40 by 50 centimeter canvas. Now we need to refine this. This is looking okay, but a lot of things aren't visible clearly because yeah, we like the color. Colors give a little bit more of angle and understanding as to whether we have made some mistakes, or also if we have gotten nailed this idea, at least at this inception stage. So we're going to get down to that today, and and we will start with the faces first, the skin tones first to color. The materials I have discussed in the basic classes already in great detail. So it's going to be oil paints and soft synthetic brushes, but I will introduce you to the color that I'm using when I'm using each and every color to paint, and also the brush numbers that I'm using. The faces of the kids. Let's get started with that before we get into the details of it. And when we look at the faces, there are definitely two different zone of colors, isn't it, that we could see. And this is a very lighter tonality. I think she's Australian. Yeah. So that is one lighter tonality, and I'm very sure that I found a baby girl that is from a mixed cultural background. So she is not from one particular origin, and that's exactly what I was looking for. And she is definitely color that is really beautiful, and I think it will be interesting to work on that also. Let's start with the lighter color so we can build on to this color, grow to this color. Yeah, the lighter color tone, the way I work with it is that I really like the idea of taking a little bit of vermilion and a little bit of yellow ochre, and mix it, and maybe a little bit of yellow, tiny bit of primary yellow also, and mix it, and then with that, if I add more and more white, then it gets lighter and lighter, coming close to this color, if not exactly the same color, somewhere 80% to that color. And I have so what is that? If I have to show you the colors, so it's vermilion, a tiny bit of prime permanent yellow, even lemon yellow works. You don't need too much of it. And then yellow ochre. So I have taken that and I have also added titanium white to it. And I'm going to use a soft synthetic brush number 1, round, to mix it. And maybe I will need a little more of, I already have it in my palette, so I'm not having to do too much of work, but I think I need a little more of white to lighten it up. So I'm going to take a little more of white and lighten it up even more. Okay. And now that I am kind of ready with the color, I think I'm going to try that directly on the canvas. Before trying that, there's also another thing that I want to check. With respect to her face, I think it's got to have a slight broader thing, and the chin has to come slightly blunt versus what I have. Yeah, and also a broader forehead. I think I have that in mind to adjust also. So I'm keeping other adjustments that I want to make. So I'm just keeping that in mind and expanding it ever so lightly in the sides so that it's broad enough and starting to fill that color. So this is it's almost looking like white because of the light, but it isn't. It's the skin color, and I wouldn't bother too much about having the right color right away, because yeah, there's going to be many layers that we are going to work on. So I'm going to focus on having things right and filling it. Blocking is the key activity of our session today. So let's just stick to that agenda, to block and also justify what we have blocked. So that's the cheek that I wanted to address and make it slightly, yes, and bring it down and close it also sharp here. And as in my case, what is happening here is that the colors that I used for the grid and the color that I used for the drawing, everything is blending in. And that is okay with me, so I'm not really worried about it. And this is exactly why I said that when you are using a pencil, it would definitely distract you. You will get another color tonality. If you have done so and the color isn't really appealing, do not worry. You will have to work on it when it dries in another layer. So in a couple of layers, the lead will stop showing its effect, hopefully. So that's exactly why I chose not to do a pencil sketch on my canvas. It's also hard, and at the same time, the lead mixes, and I don't like it. So I have done this. I'm now going to look at ways to improvise her look. And then I need this also to work on her arms. She's got 6 arms. So right now the logic is for us to adjust her look. Her eyes are bluey gray. That's a nice color. So I have a 0 brush, and before I get to the bluey gray color and such, I want to attack the slight white sides of the eyeball. That can be achieved by taking a little bit of titanium white to work with. And I'm going to use a 0 brush. So first take a bit of titanium white. Go over the eye portion, and where there is this tiny bit of white appearing. Yes, I think I have done that, and I will also use the white to fill in the space where the teeth is to come. Not going to work on the details though, but just do the filling in that space. Yes, that's done. And now for the blue, I think I will go for a primary blue and add a little bit of ivory black to that. So I have blacky blue tonality ready, and I'll use that to fill her iris pupil spacing first. Yes. Fine. That's looking good. And I'm going to take a bit of yellow ochre to blend in with that color so that I can draw the the lines that show the eyelid and other sections. That's fine. And the eyebrows as well, to use the same color for the eyebrows. And here I want to adjust the eyebrows a bit. This is too much of it's going in that direction that I want to fix. Yes, I think this looks okay. Now I need to adjust, going back to the skin tonality, to adjust a little bit under the eye, over the eye, all these sections that are visibly going wrong here. So that is fixed, and now I can focus a little bit on the nose, because that's also where I wanted to adjust a little bit. Just gonna wipe off that earlier section by adding the color. Now it's clear for me to take a yellow ochre mixed with that blue or tiny bit of black, just to give a darker tonality, and that helps me understand where I could go on with the nose. Yeah, I think now it starts to look better. Yes, and based on that, if I want to readjust the lips, I think I wanted to do that even in the stages where they are working. We were working on the execution part. I felt the need of adjusting things to a certain extent. Here, going to build that and see, give that space enough. And okay. Now let's see. She is looking pretty, yeah. Hey, getting there. So I'm taking the zero brush again. Okay, now for the lip, you could add a little bit of vermilion, let's say, for wanting to have any different color if you want, to the yellow ochre and mixed with black to have a maroon sort of a thing. It's a darker tonality, which is not the case of her lip, I agree, but this gives kind of enhanced look. And then when we put the lighter tonality in the other layers, it sort of helps you highlight. So let's go with a slightly darker tonality now and work on her lip. Mhm. And do the curve of her underlip as well. I have managed that to a certain extent, and I'm going to do the rest of the corrections and then come back to. So this is one, and this I need okay, some more angular. She's got an angular what do you call an angular chin. It's not a chubby chin, it's an angular chin. So keep that in mind and bring that down. Really, yes. Now she's shining, I can feel. Okay. Okay, so I can see that this is getting slightly better. Go take a little bit of black because there is a place inside her lip that is, slightly darker here. It's just a shadow. Yes, then we have that. Okay, that looks fair enough, and I think this color looks fair enough now. Going back to the lip color that I created, I'm just going to do it one more time to refine it, and then leave it like this and adjust the nose slightly. Yes, all good. Yes, it is. Okay, so this has to be coming from like this. Okay, slight adjustments again, and it's a balance of if we are blocking. This is a blocking episode, blocking class, but we have to do corrections also accordingly. So in my case, I have quite a bit of corrections that I had to do. So I am somewhat done with it. And I know the colors aren't right, but that is fine because these are base colors, and they will get lighter or darker when as the painting grows. Okay, so now I'm going to continue using this skin color that I created for her, for the other parts of her body that is visible, that is her arms. So let's work on her arms. The arms, I think the size is fine. I'm not going to rework on the arm size. I'm not doing her hand yet, but I'm going to come to that shortly. This hand is smaller, it's visible, only partially visible, so I'm going to do that. But the other hands, I'm going to leave and work on it in a short while from now. Nice color. And it is mixing with my initial color range that I built. It is fine. That's what I was expecting also when this happens. So we have the arms block. Let's do the hands. When you do the hands, the easiest of the hands are these ones that have the colors in them. because you can see only the palm of it, maybe one finger. So let's do them first. It's mixing with all the colors in the world, but that is fine. Yeah. Got it. This is done. This is done. And this hand has the sword. So remember, I talked a lot about the hands in the previous class, that we need to show that grace. So when you mark the fingers, make sure that you're doing it, spacing it nicely, and giving the palm the full, In fact, even though it's at this stage of early stages of drawing or painting, it's important that we give the space so it's easier for us to do the details when we get to that level. Yeah. So that's the hand. The fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. And the thumb space is already done. So kind of, fitting in here. The hand is something that we had imagined, isn't it? So now I'm thinking, so the finger 1, 2, 3, and a small tiny, finger like that coming out. And the thumb has to be, the thumb will be, I don't know if it will be visible. So I'm just going to do that and leave it like that and see. Or maybe I should do the thumb, I don't know. Let's leave it like this. I'm adding a space here for the thumb to be, a part of the thumb to be visible. Makes overall sense to a certain extent, yes. I'll go with this, yes. So now I am going to work on her hair texture, because that's also telling the story of who she is, where she is coming from, isn't it? So that color is even lighter. On a yellow ochre scale, I can see that it's lighter, and it's got strands of white. That is because of the light catching, but it is really a very light yellow ochre that I could see. So I'm going to take in another brush. Where is that? I want to take yellow ochre. Okay, I'm going to add a bit of black to that. Though it's going to darken it, I'm going to add, I need a little bit more of yellow ochre. Let's see what happens. This is the, without the black, when I add yellow ochre and titanium white, that's also a color that I use for, I add primary yellow to use for the crown and such things that I want to draw. That's also missing, so I will work on that. But to just work on her hair, this texture of yellow ochre that is slightly dull because of the black, and also has the white that has lightened it up, it's helpful. Okay, I think I managed fine here on this side. She's like the way her hair is coming down like this. This is light enough, so if I want to darken it, it's easier for me to rework, yeah, I think I will just take yellow ochre itself, only raw yellow ochre, to give a darker angle or a kind of shade if I want, or I could add white where I want, I could add black where I want. I think this will be a good base color that I could grow into whatever I want in the upcoming session. So This fits the bill, so I'm going to stop with that. And now the challenge is to come to another color zone altogether for this little girl. To be honest, I don't know. Let me use my use my brain. Okay, I think I'm going to go with burnt umber and lighten it up with white a little bit and see how that goes. And add crimson maybe for the babyish look. Let's see. That's going to be funny because I have not tried it yet. Okay, so I'm going to take those colors out. Burnt umber. I have titanium white in my palette already. I'm going to take burnt umber. I need another brush to test this. Brown brush number 1. Burnt umber mixed with white. It's just, lightening up the whole story. And to that, if I add crimson, yeah, I am actually getting there. It's the darkest version of the color that you see in her skin tone. So it's crimson and burnt umber. And of course, the white that you add to it will lighten up the whole story. How much ever you want to lighten up, you can. So that's something I have tried and I'm going to show it to you shortly. This is how the color looks. And it can be lightened if I wantedly, if I add more of the titanium white and less of that color. Yes, that's it. So you can actually play around with that color. Got it. Yes, I'm going to have that color and start filling in her face. The focus is here. Just bring her up slightly. One more thing I wanted to show is that the face has to be one notch smaller. That I think I can work on. So when I do the eyebrows and everything, I'll just be aware of it. One notch smaller. So I'm painting this color and this is kind of closer to what I have. It needs improvement. I definitely see that, but this is a short base color for me to work with. These are amazing, isn't it? Okay. I think this is helping in the process, and one size down because I just, circumference, I just did not paint, to the contours. slightly smaller. Okay. Then what is to be happening here is that we need to also work on her ears. So her ear is actually, we need to think that her ear is where the Lakshmi is holding, the child. So one side of the ear is just like that, and the other ear so comes out like here, and then I think that's it with the body of it. And I'm going to just do the tongue that is visible, and this teeth we will work on the detail later. We'll do the tongue right away. And then for the eye, it's a similar logic that we did. We are going to do the white dots. So I take a little bit of titanium white and go for the flat little white space that is available. In her eye here. I think I've managed that to a certain extent. So I'm going to go for her eye that is black and it's got the white tinge in the middle. So I'm going to go for a black iris and pupil first, and then I will do the white in between. I think if you look at it carefully, you can see the person taking the photograph in her eyes. No, we are not going to consider that level of detail here. But of course, she's the pretty face that we want to cover. Yeah? Yes. And then I will use the ivory black to go over her contours of the eyelid. And her nice. We will get opportunity to work on great level of detail. But for now, there are certain things that are appealing even at the stage where we are even not less than 20% done. We want it to look good. So it is easier for us to judge the rest of the painting and keep working on improvising things. Yeah, that's why the eye is also an important section of that. So I'm just going to do the spacing for the eyebrow. Maybe it's really far off, huh? Should be slightly. Wholly rubbing that off with the skin color. So let me try one more time. Slightly closer. I want it to be slightly feeble so that it's easier for me to rework. That's enough. And then here starts here, goes up. That is fair enough. The nostrils, let's do that. Okay, the nostrils are pretty. Yeah, and then the curve of her going towards her nostrils. So that's enough for now. So let's just focus on the lip. The same color that we used for Lakshmi, where we had this yellow ochre added to crimson. So we have a darker color notch of brown. Helps to do the lip. Again, when you do the lip, just be aware that we are doing the shape of the lip. Yeah. Oh, she's pretty already. Okay, so I can use this for the contours also to just, build on the shape of her chin and connect that to her ear and such. Okay, so that helps. And now for her hair is black and it's actually bald. she's still she's too young, so we don't have too much of hair there. But we need to really keep in mind that there's going to be a gold tiara instead of the ribbon there. So I'm going to give for the gold tiara, I need gold. I need yellow ochre mixed with a bit of primary yellow. So I'm just taking that to lighten it up, and I'm going to use that here as her tiara. Here, okay, and that's her tiara, something like that. And then the rest has to be her hair, which means the hair is black, isn't it? So I'm going to take what I have is this ivory black, and I'm going to use it here to do a bit of her, the spacing for her hair. So, and then leave it also here to give a view that there is this hair you can see beyond the tiara. I think we need to cover that part of her skin of Santhana Lakshmi here so it doesn't look odd. Yes. Good. I think it looks okay. Now the logic of, making the face, the body and so on to sink in properly, we need to have, where is that? Right here. I'm having too many brushes in my hand because we have her neck also visible. So I'm going to do the neck. Neck here and leave it. And the rest is the body, rest of the body, I will assume that is covered by clothing, possibly. So let's imagine for the clothing. Now I'll have to decide on the clothing of Santhana Lakshmi as well. So I'm going to think of the clothing to be in green to kind of, oh, this is yellow here. She's got a yellow. Why don't we do a yellow? Why not? That's a good idea. Let's do the yellow, and then I would want this to be a red. So I'm taking not crimson red, pinky red. I want the vermilion red to go for her. I think that works for her skin tone to have this kind of a red here. Mm. Okay, so I have crimson. I'm going to take crimson and mix a little bit of titanium white to that to get to a lotus kind of a color. So that is what I'm going to do here. Okay. Okay, the presence of the flower itself could hide the whole storyline here of the baby girl's picture here. So it's kind of making sense. All right, I wanted to see that happen also. We need to make this flower slightly bigger to adapt to the idea that there are two living beings seated inside this flower. Why lotus flower? There's always a question. Lotus flower is a symbol of purity in so many cultures. Definitely, it's really treated as auspicious for gods and goddesses, and that's why you see this lotus flower. There is I love the blue lotus flower. Maybe one of the flowers that I'll have, maybe I will do a blue lotus as well. Blue lotus is a rare species, but it is there. It is available. But even within this lotus, there are so many colors. I think we can play around with this when we come to the real, work of it. Build some more angles to give an effect that it is right behind as well. What I wanted to go here. Or skin color. Where is the skin color? If I damage something, then I fix it. Okay, so that is fair enough, I think. I'm going to do the now I think I will work on the background of this painting. I am looking at ultramarine blue with a white mixed background for this. That is slightly on the opposite direction of the colors that we have here, because we have yellow, and in ultramarine blue I think the yellow will come out also fine, depending upon where we pick the zonality of the colors. Let's see. I think this is a good thing to start with right now. So we are focusing on blocking in this class, so just be sure that you're blocking every single space with colors to see how things are seated, and also keeping in mind that the grid lines, they might still appear in spite of the color combinations that you have done. To a certain extent, if it hides, it's good. If it doesn't, don't worry too much about it. Don't live on it. Move on. With the layers, it will disappear. Okay, so I'm going to take another brush. I have brush number 5, and I'm going to use ultramarine blue and titanium white. have titanium white, so I'm going to load that here. Loaded a little too much of it, but take some of it here. Okay. And I will add to this tourmaline blue. All right. Let's see. This is seeming like a good combination for me to work with. Just testing it here. Yes. Can you see that it is really going to bring the yellow and all the colors to the front? When I test it like this, it works. Okay. This it looks pretty, but let's do the painting of it. One thing I would like to do first is that I use the tip of my brush to do the contours of my key characters so that I don't end up spoiling anything here. Okay, so I'm going around the contours, and when I come close to the tip of it, you know, it's also helpful to have a smaller brush if you want. In my case, I'm comfortable with it because even though I'm holding a round brush number 5, the tip of it is really good. It's a good quality, so I'm happy with it. So I'm just proceeding to work on my contours just like that. But if in your case, if you need another brush, go for it. It could be that, you know, you have a good hand, but the brush isn't helping because maybe it's old, it's been used for a while. Sometimes, you know, when I move the brushes around like this, the tip gets thinner also, and then I can focus on the contours. All right, so I have managed to enter these sections and fill in color near her face. Now I should move around her hands, you know, and all 6 hands. That's going to be the task. Let's go for it. Starting with this one. Do not worry if the colors mix up. As long as you're able to define the space, it is fine. If the colors mix up too much that everything is completely jarred and you cannot see what's where, then maybe you'll have to rework. Otherwise, if it is mixing slightly, one. Okay, I think I'm going to go into this space. Fantastic. So I pull the curtains down and the sun goes down. That is Denmark. contours of the lotus flower. There is a tiny space in between her hip line and her hand. Remember that? Yes. Okay, so let's now move on to the other side of the contours, and then it's easier to work with. So yes, let's do this. Mhm. All right, and we are nearly there with this little section. All these contour edges that can be tackled with smaller brushes, do that, and then leave the rest for a larger brush. That's kind of efficient. You go near the fingers, be careful. You don't want to spoil what you have created. You have to remember things at least to be able to recreate. Yeah. All right, now we have I think we are nearly there to begin with a larger brush stroke. I have a brush number 11 flat. That's going to help me in the process here to hopefully speed up plan. Yes. The sun hits me again. No. Okay. Yeah. I do not know what to do now. It's really peeping through all the corners to play with me today. But I promise you in a couple of minutes it goes away also. I know what to do this time. Let's see. Success for a while until sun plays in another direction. Yes. So I am going around with my larger brush. I'll be speeding up the process of blocking because there are more dancing. A little bit more of the mind low. One more thing that I would like to point out at this point when you're feeling okay, I'm nearly there, I'm finishing this layer 2, is that there are sides, 4 different sides to this canvas. Even though we don't have any characters or anything defining the sides, I would prefer that the sides are also done in my artwork that I hand over to my customers or gifts or something. I prefer that they get the option to choose between using what do you call using a frame, a wooden frame or metal frame or something, versus leaving it the way it is, depending upon their wall background or where they have the painting. So I would love to give them the option. So I usually paint also the sides, at least 3 layers, 4 layers, and it helps that outlook as such, and when they are happy that whenever they feel like, or if that doesn't match and they feel that they need to buy a wooden frame or such, then they will do that. But most of the cases that I've seen, that the colors that I choose also are in a way earthy and as background at least, and they sit well with the wall or wherever they are placing the painting, so it works even without the frame. So think of that as well. If you have never done this before, do the sides as well. So I've finished the sides. I've finished 2 of the sides. I'm going to do the other 2 sides. By okay. So all right, this way it's easier for me to do the sides of the bottom and the top of the canvas. Let me do the other side as well. This is one of the challenging paintings that you have chosen in the 8, because it is, the picture of Santhana Lakshmi, the goddess of progeny, meaning we need to show a child, and we also want to have the idea of diversity and the aspect of having little girls as the goddesses, to spread the positivity around, to spread the thought process of everyone across the globe respecting girl children, At the same time, you also need to have this balance of not giving this impression of, a little girl being a mother. It's a very tricky subject that we have touched upon, and let's hope that we do justice to this. Yes, going to quickly move this around. Yes, this is looking good sideways. And also now the front, let's see. Oh, yes. Cool. That's how it looks now. And in spite of the fight with our dear sun god, we managed fine. Let's just stop here to summarize what we have done. Today's session was really about blocking or filling in the canvas, finishing off the layer 2. And for that, what we had to do was to just choose some colors that will go well for each and every section of this painting, and not necessarily the final colors, but then the base colors that will work well for us to proceed to the next steps. So we have done that, and also along the line we have seen to opportunity to make some adjustments and so on, and we did that. um, I am still thinking of one more space to adjust while I speak to you, and this is also a process of what do you call us growing and learning to do more with each and every step of what we do. Yeah. So I just wanted that curly kind of hair to look, and I have adjusted that. I think we'll make a stop here. And yeah, in the next class, we will be focusing more on shadows, or light versus dark. So this is a flat image that you have created, and there was a purpose that we focus only on filling and seeing it, how things will go well or not. So I would suggest that you take a break between this class and the next class, meaning give this canvas a rest a couple of days so that it dries fully. Depending upon the medium that you have used, it will take a while also to dry. When it dries, you will also get to see more of opportunities to improvise and opportunities to change things if you want to change things also, and that way it will be very helpful for you. So wait for that couple of days or such. When you're ready with it, then you click on the next lesson. Yes, thank you very much. Until we meet in the next session, I wish you to be happy. So stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay motivated. So we are meeting up in the next class and doing a great job with Santhana Lakshmi painting. Bye bye.